you for joining our live webinar session today. We are going to be looking at leveraging learning and development to achieve peak performance in teams. My name is Obi Elijah. I am the head of pre-sales and customer support here at Clever LMS. I am also originally from West Africa, Nigeria. So please let us know where you are joining us from today. So at the end of this webinar session, we are going to have a quick demonstration of our platform, and also we would have a Q&A session also at the end. So please send your questions, in the Q&A section, and yeah, we would love to answer you guys at the end. So before we go into today's topic, let's start with who we are, what is Clever LMS, and what makes us qualified, to talk to you about leveraging learning and development to achieve peak performance in teams. Clever LMS is a corporate platform for creating interactive training, goal-oriented management, and advanced analytics. It does this in a way that is convenient and effective. With Clever LMS, you can create comprehensive training courses with simple, intuitive built-in tools. You have a 360 view on analytics that helps you to motivate, monitor, and improve team and individual performance. What's more, our platform is fully customizable. It's a fully customizable branded product that works across the web, iOS, and Android devices. Clever LMS can also be integrated into your existing systems. So yeah, we have an open API. Let's talk about Clever LMS in numbers. So we have been in the market since 2014. We are trusted by 2,300 plus companies in 20 plus countries, and we have over 1.5 million active users worldwide. So now I would like to read out the outline for this webinar so that you have something that you can follow me on. So the very first thing we will talk about is why is staff training important? And then we will talk about the difference between the traditional staff training and the online training, and we will draw some comparisons between them. Also, we will talk about measuring the effectiveness of online training implementation. So this is where we talk about the clear and monetizable metrics and recommendations for conducting a pilot. And after that, I would also, share with you guys our case studies. So yeah, so let's get into today's topic. So we can all agree that investing in employee training is an important step for every business because it increases staff motivation, improves productivity, and the quality of work. Employees who are trained are more likely to have a long-term commitment to their employer, as well as perform better at work. And all this translates to a better and a stronger company. So we're going to talk about traditional training method now, or methods. I have a few of them here, and I will just, try to break them down one after the other. So employee training gained popularity in the 1980s, and since then, many methods have been introduced, refined, and implemented. Some traditional training methods include classroom training, and this training usually lasts for 1 or more days in a physical venue on or off site. Groups of employees go through a series of presentation slides and activities like case study assessments or information on company policy issues. Unfortunately, the disadvantages are many. So you have to rent the venue, you have to incur travel costs, and catering makes this method a very costly method. Employees also find this approach to be boring. We have the interactive training. Here, you can take, training can take a form of simulation, scenarios, role play, quizzes, or games. However, they can be time consuming when done in person, especially when learners require regular feedback from, the content experts. We also have on-the-job training. This is when the employees participate in real activities that relate to their current or their future job. And this experience can be too stressful for some employees. It is also time consuming because of the frequent input required, not to mention, the havoc that can be caused when there is a serious mistake, especially if it's like a factory or, a place where you have to work with machines. Yeah. Also, there are other types of methods like coaching, shadowing, and so on. But the cost involved in organizing them and the time of senior staff required could become enormous with just even a few hundred staff. So with traditional staff training method, there is also the big problem of data. So it is difficult to track each employee's progress. You can't really tell what skills each employee has. Yes, they all went through, the classroom training, but how much of the material were they able to assimilate? So we are not able to, say this with a normal traditional training methods. So let's make a breakdown of the company's expenses when they're using these traditional methods. So you pay the coaches, mentors, and external instructors for the duration of the training. And this training sometimes can last 2 days, 1 week, depending on the amount of new recruits or the amount of upgrade you want to do in the company in terms of training even the staff that are already working in the company. You also pay for preparing and printing the materials that will be used. That is the pamphlets, the booklets. You have to prepare them. You have to pay for them. You have to pay for travel expenses, the cost of rent, especially a big venue for a number of days, refreshment for staff during break, because you have to feed them or give them some sort of incentives during the breaks. And of course, you have to give them motivation package also. So all these are just the direct cost. And now we're going to look at the indirect cost that would include the time of expensive personnel for training new hires plus imputed costs. Also, the losses you incur from inefficient work of untrained employees, the cost of recruitment and rotation, plus the cost of onboarding with constant rotation, because you can't have people just work all the hours just because you want to train them. They have to go home, they have to rest. So you have a constant rotation. It reduces the amount of training that can go on in a particular period of time. So it's just, not so nice. Also, you have to keep paying the salaries of these new hires, because whether they're trained or not, you've given them a job, they have families, and you have to pay them. Also, post-training rotations and layoffs. So you're losing a lot of money, and this is just the indirect costs. Now, there are some hidden costs. For example, these hidden costs are the time that you lose from work hours, because the traditional training method is always carried out during the work hours. These hours, which could have been used to bring profit into the company, would be lost. Also, incidents, accidents, and code violation, the penalty the company has to pay as a result. Should you have inspection going on at the plant or something, you have untrained people, there is very high possibility that you're going to pay, some penalties. Also, low efficiency and productivity. It is just a simple logic. If your staff is untrained or if your staff are untrained, then they will not be productive. So an untrained staff is an unproductive staff. And that is why at Clever LMS, we have made it our duty to, talk about online training. So, yeah. So that is why we've made it our mission to talk about online training. I'm sorry I missed one slide here. So this was when I was talking about the hidden cost. So loss of work hours, incident and violations, low efficiency and productivity. Moving on now, the solution that we prefer as an LMS system. So when you use an LMS system like Clever LMS, you can avoid all the disadvantages and unpleasantness of traditional learning systems. So the first thing you do is you save time. It has been estimated that e-learning or online training save up to 45% of your organization's time in comparison to classroom learning. You save money. LMS might seem like a big investment, but in reality, it offers plenty of opportunities to save money. Organizing a classroom training would require all the things that I mentioned, the airplane tickets, the hotel lodging, the catering for the staff, the motivation package, and all that I mentioned earlier. So, and all for these for all these hours are also lost. So the company still pays salary. This is far more expensive than just opening a laptop or a phone in a time and a place that suits each learner. Also, you can be assured of better engagement in Clever LMS. For instance, you can incorporate quizzes, scenarios, other interactive elements in training, in the training journey. Gamification coupled with a strong and intuitive UI UX design, making training more appealing and effective. Also, you can ensure consistency. Regardless of their location and their language, each learner gets a consistent learning experience and standard because you are in control. Also, you have access to valuable data. So if you ever need to replace any employee that left unannounced, Clever LMS will help you in your succession plan by showing you who has the skills and competencies to step into the shoe of that person that has left. Also, you can track who is committed to the training program and their professional development, or who is doing just the barest minimum. You can also check the compliance statistics. You will know which employees are struggling with a particular material, and then you can also help them to get better. Last but not the least is that you reduce staff turnover. With all the above mentioned, the consistent, flexible, interactive, and engaging training, targeted intervention to help your staff, and better succession planning, all these are likely to increase employee satisfaction and retention. So now, let's talk about Clever LMS. So with Clever LMS, we go beyond just providing you with a system to manage training. We provide you with a full customizable and brandable system for creating, managing, and tracking employee training, engagement, and motivation. You can use brand styles and color palettes to have a system that is that your employees are familiar with. The interface is simple, friendly, and intuitive. So basically easy to use, easy to navigate. We have a built-in authoring tool for complex training courses. Also, Clever LMS has an open API, like I mentioned, so you can completely integrate with other systems you use. It's also available on iOS, Android, and web. So basically, any device can work with our platform. And one of the most important features, of course, is data. So you have access to flexible and advanced statistics, analytics, and automated reports. So what makes us stand out? So what makes Clever LMS stand out? So we have a flexible and advanced business analytic intelligence reporting. All the tools, metrics, statistics that you need to make sure that all the positions at your company have the right people, that your staff have all the knowledge that they need to carry out their duties are available. And we present all this information in formats that are easy to understand, like graphs and charts. Our own built-in authoring tool and media library, integrated online meetings and webinars with attendance check. You can see what employees joined what meeting, as well as when they joined and when they left. Also, you get a feedback and a rating system. Also, leaderboard and awards are available on the platform, and you can also make your corporate training into an autopilot mode. All right. So how can the effectiveness of of implementation be measured? So you have two major ways. And the very first one is trying to calculate, or calculations. And that is basically when you can compare the entire budget spent on traditional training. And also remember that traditional training has direct, indirect, and hidden costs. So when you compare all the budget to the budget spent on online training. Also, what you can do to check the effectiveness of implementation is by having pilots, programs. So this will help you, you can check staff efficiency, the result of each employee per day. It's also applicable for personnel with measurable indicators. So sales/number of clients served, etc. Also, you can see the speed of the products and services launch. So you can see how long it took to launch a new product or a new service. Also, you can check the speed of onboarding and adaptation. So the effect of the adaptation process on the speed at which the staff reaches planned targets. So while carrying out our calculations, we focus on clear and monetizable metrics like staff efficiency. If previously employees used to have 5 accidents a month on the average, and now there are none, this translates to more money saved for the company. Budget savings. So the difference between the cost of organizing traditional versus online training. Also the speed of onboarding staff. So reduction in the number of days spent on onboarding equals to more work days, equals to more money or more profit. The speed of releasing the product into the market is also, something that we focus on when we are calculating. So now we're going to make, some recommendations for conducting a pilot. This will help you, better understand what you need to do when you want to conduct a pilot. So the purpose of a pilot launch is to test the hypothesis about the economic feasibility of a full-fledged implementation. So you can verify only those hypotheses that are based on monetized metrics. Also, hypothesis testing equals split testing. So you have to have a target audience and a reference target audience. So it's possible for you to divide a group or a department into two and use them for this pilot object, for this pilot project. And you can do that by not informing the reference target audience, so that they don't try to, improve their efficiency. So they work the way they would normally work. So hypotheses should be formulated and digitized. The methodology of data collection and analysis should be agreed upon in advance. So what style of data connection do you want to use? This should be agreed before the project starts. So the reference target audience, like I said, should not know about the conduct of the pilot and the methodology for analyzing the results. So like I said, so they don't try to, tweak the results. The duration of the project should be sufficient but and limited. So it should be enough, but it should not be overdrawn. So you can, have, maybe a quarter, for example, you fix it on a quarter and you don't go beyond a quarter, so you can get concrete results. So how do we calculate the cost of a pilot? So conducting a pilot project is an expensive and resource intensive process. So the components of this pilot cost will be the rent of the LMS system. That should take about 10%. So that's basically with restrictions on installation, functionality, number of licenses, or time allowed. Cost of implementation, that's the content, the staff working hours and imputed cost should take about 30%. And then profit not received, the difference between the financial indicator of the reference and the pilot group of employees. So if the pilot is completely successful. So the best pilot, of course, is one that has already been done for you. If you have people in similar, project or business in which online training has already been implemented, you can try to get data from them first about the economic impact of, implementation and recommendations. So now we are going to talk about our case studies. For this particular case study, we signed a non-disclosure, so I would not be able to mention the name of this company, but it's one of the largest manufacturers of cosmetics, perfume, hair products, and body care products. So the case that they had, or what they presented to us, was they had up to 50% rotation of merchandisers staff per year. And training method was coaching by direct supervisors. So one of the problems that they had was that 5 working days of supervisor time, are allocated mandatorily for initial training of new hires. And there are 10 people per team. And out of these 10 people, you have 5 people. So you have 10 people on a line, for example, 5 know what they're doing, 5 don't know what they're doing. It means production will be slowed down because of the 5 people who are still in training. Also, supervisors spend 25 working days per year training staff. So after implementing, Clever LMS, we're able to reduce the involvement of the supervisor to 2 working days. And then the company gained 15 working days of supervisor time. And we also increased the frequency of network visits and improved the quality of the work that they do. So that's the first one. The second case study we have is Not Gold. This is an international gold mining company with 8,000 plus employees on 3 continents. So the peculiarities that we had with them was that they had an international composition of employees, which, required to provide materials in different languages, for example. Also, they had shift work, and they also had people who were working remotely. So this was what they presented to us. And after implementing Clever LMS, the result we got was, we reduced the cost of continuous training by 50%. We reduced the time of adaptation from 2 days to 2 days. So this was before implementation of our LMS. It was about 7 to 10 days. And then also the coverage of trainee has increased by 20%. So training has become more available to shift workers and also to mobile employees. The last but not the least would be Lafarge Hosting. This is the world's leading manufacturer of building materials. The task that they gave us was systemization of staff training and external drivers, ensuring compliance with traffic regulations by all employees, reduction of accidents and incidents. So efficiency, so the efficiency of LMS implementation at the end of the year was that we reduced violation of labor protection rules by 25%. We reduced the traffic violation by 30%. The number of incidents caused by the company drivers and partners reduced by 40% over the same period of 2018. Time spent on training reduced by 33%, and then 100% of the drivers are trained and their knowledge in all processes are tested. So this is our result, and you can trust us definitely. So you can contact the sales team and get a quotation on what works best for your company, and also get the best solution for your business. So this is the end of the presentation. I would like to go into the the quick demo session of our product and what it looks like inside Clever LMS as a user. So I would be sharing my screen shortly. Please bear with me. Okay, welcome back. I hope my screen is visible to everybody. So the first thing you want to do, the first thing you do is, so this is an online platform that is used to train, motivate, and manage staff, like I earlier mentioned. Our platform is not only for learning, you can also implement pre-boarding and onboarding processes, internal communication, knowledge base, and we have motivation tools. So like I mentioned, we make full customizations for our clients, so it's 100% white label. So the very first thing you see when you log into the platform would be the home page. And here you can, have the focus of the month, what you want your employees to focus on. Employees can continue studying from where they left off. They can also see their rating and ranking in the, in the ranking of the company. Also, they have some widgets that are here displayed, and also in the profile section of this of their profile, they can see the groups that they belong to. They can see who their manager is. They can do basic changes like password, profile picture change, and also language interface language change, content language change. So we support multiple languages. Yeah. Also, we have what we call the learning journeys. This can be referred to as training course, training path, courses. It just depends on what you want to call it. And this is a track of employee training consisting of unlimited training materials with a prearranged order of completion. So training programs are a universal tool that contain many types of materials. So I would do a breakdown of the different materials that we have on the platform. The very first one would be the long read, and this is built in to the platform. It supports pictures, and you can just use it to give very detailed instructions to your employees, and you can stylize text. You can be creative as much as you want on the platform. So this would help you to create a proper, it can help you to create a course. The next that we will talk about would be, the formats of materials that are supported. That is, we support all the Microsoft Office formats on the platform. So the PPTX, the docs, all the formats of Microsoft Office. We also support PDFs. We support SCOM files. Basically, SCOM files are interactive presentations with built-in tests. So basically, you can see, they can interact. So you can watch, so users can, use this to study. And at the end of everything, okay, so we have videos also. So we support videos, and you can upload your videos in 2 different formats. There is something called interactive inserts in the video editor on the platform, where you can insert questions or tests or checkpoints for users. And this would mean that they would not be able to fast track, the video. So you are sure that they're watching the amount of video, the number of video that you want them to watch, the amount of time that you want them to watch. So yeah, they will check themselves, for example, and if they get the question wrong, it takes them back to the last checkpoint. But in this case, it will take me back to the beginning, because this is the first checkpoint. Also, you can upload this in 2 formats, in the SD and HD format. The SD format is a smaller quality, and it helps people who have bad internet or outdated devices to be able to have access to the materials. So at the end of everything, you want to maybe include a test to test the knowledge of your staff on the course that you have just given to them. So you can insert a test here. Also, users can discuss in a particular course with the people that they are, they can make complaints, they can, so also they can rate the course, and also they can see certificates that are awarded to them, at the end of every course. Moving on, we have more tests and surveys. So tests and surveys, basically, you can decide to, give additional tests to check their competencies. Also, you can give surveys to get feedbacks and opinions on the platform. Also, we have messages. You can use messages to pass, just as it implies, to pass messages across to people on the platform. Also, there is something called the blocking message, where the platform is made inactive until the user clicks on the button that is assigned to the message, maybe red or okay. So it would mean that everybody saw that message. So this is used to pass especially important messages. Media is a mix of social media. So you have a little bit of YouTube here, where you can dump online recordings and people would have access to it. Also, you can carry out competition like in Instagram, where users can like the employee of the month, for example, and choose or vote for the employee of the month. Also, you can create chats, for different departments, for different groups here on the platform. We have a knowledge base on the platform, where you can put all the important documents for your users that would make them, be more effective in their job. So for every manager on the platform, they have this additional item called My Team, and they are able to see the the subordinates that have been attached to them. So they can track the progress of these subordinates, they can award these subordinates, they can caution the subordinates, and they have access to the general learning of these subordinates, and they can refer back to management to say if the training is effective or not. The rating system in the company, it just shows your position as you earn points from your learning journeys, from your tests, and from your awards from the manager. You get to climb up the leaderboard of the company. And this, is a motivation tool that we have put in place for all our, employees. So I get to see the badges that have been awarded to me. And also here I can see the results of courses that I have taken and the ones that that are in progress. I can see my KPIs if I have any. I can see certificates that are awarded to me for all the courses that I have taken. Also, at the end of everything, I can spend these points that I have gotten in the gift store. This is unique to different companies. So it can be tangible and intangible gifts. So users can, spend the money that they get here. Also, we have a practical section called tasks. This is where you can give practical tasks to your employees where they can, give you feedback, live feedbacks. You want them to send a document, you want them to send an image or a video, a file. They can do that here because this supports different, fields. Last but not the least would be the events. We have 3 events on the platform. That would be online where you can get your links from, any other platform, webinar platform. Also, we have the offline where you have to put in an actual address. It's an offline. And then we have Zoom. Zoom is basically integrated with our platform. So you can get more statistics on who joined, when they joined, and when they left the meeting. And also with the click of this button, users can sync this event to, to their calendars. So this is, like I said, it's just all about being creative. There are no restrictions on the platform. Just, as far as you are able to think or imagine with our platform, everything is possible. So thank you for your time. If you have any questions now, I will be taking them in the Q&A section. Thank you very much. All right, if there are no questions, we look forward to seeing you guys next time in our next sessions. We would have more sessions and we would look forward to, catering to your needs. So don't forget to contact the sales team, get your quotations and, get Clever LMS. See you guys next time. Have a wonderful evening.